where to begin? Hey guys, I hope you are all doing well. So I've officially finished my 3-month subscription, I guess is the word, with BetterHelp. So I've already done one video where I kind of documented my first month with BetterHelp / online counselling. I'll pop that above if you want to see it, because I'll probably say more in depth about why I'm doing this. And I've mentioned it here and there on my Instagram, on other vlogs and things, but I figured it'd be useful to kind of just have a chat and help you come to terms with whether online counselling is for you, because I know that from speaking to a lot of people, they're just very skeptical. They don't know what they would say, they don't really think they would need it, and etc. So before I get into my experience with BetterHelp over the course of 3 months and just all of that, I just want to chat about online counselling in general, and also just disclose that this isn't a paid video or anything, but I am sponsored by BetterHelp. I'm an ambassador for them. So I actually have my own unique link that you can go to sign up and get your membership through, and it will actually give you 10% off, which I'm just so blessed to be able to give that to you. Like, mental health is one of the things closest to my heart, so I'm so pleased to be able to do that. And like I'll always say, please feel free to reach out to me if you need some more direct personal support in choosing to do it, because I know I was very nervous about starting. But anyway, before we get into my journey and my experience, to answer the question, is counselling for you? The short answer, I guess, is if you don't think you're coping very well, yes. Or if things are playing on your mind a lot, yes, probably, because you don't just have to be someone dealing with depression or anxiety or any mental health illness. I actually have never been diagnosed with anything. You could simply just be really stressed at work, or be going through a divorce, or there's so many reasons why people seek counselling, and you don't have to be someone who is saying, I need help. It could just be, I need a bit of support, or I need some peace of mind. And you could just pay for 1 month, and it could actually really help your mindset and maybe make you more aware of things that you didn't really realise before. So yeah, I would highly suggest checking out online counselling. I guess if you just deal with any kind of stress or struggle, which I mean we all do, and that's why it's such an amazing thing. You really can't invest enough into your mind, because your mind is like carrying you through everything. And we go to the gym to take care of our bodies, so why wouldn't you pay for something to take care of your mind too? Because you can't be expected to know exactly what you're doing all of the time. No one has their ish together all the time. So if I quickly just start at the beginning with my journey and online counselling, I, again, watch that video if you want, because it's going to be more in depth, but I'd never tried counselling before, except once when I was really young. It was so soon after the traumatic life event that happened, and I was so young and just confused that it wasn't helpful at all. I keep looking out of the window, so if I'm like looking really weird, that's why. That didn't last long. I didn't find it useful. I also went to a bereavement camp, which I'm not sure I mentioned in the last video actually. It was a good kind of starting place for me to be aware of my thoughts. But again, it wasn't overly useful, and the people that I met that were going through things, I haven't kept in contact with, and I don't even remember their names. So I have iffy feelings about that as well. So my mental health kind of was at its lowest during my teens. I really kind of struggled with anxiety in school and didn't even notice it. Like, I thought I was just super shy. Turns out I was crippled with anxiety. My teens were tough. Then kind of coming out of that, I dropped out of uni and decided to put myself first and became much more aware of things. I got into a really good relationship that I'm still in now, and a lot has happened, and I'm a lot stronger and I'm a lot happier, but I still am affected by depression and anxiety, and I could feel certain things being affected by that. And because I talk a lot about mental health on my Instagram, also on my YouTube channel, BetterHelp reached out to me to offer me the discount code for you guys, or link, and just for the ambassadorship, which obviously is really close to my heart, but I thought I should really test the waters myself so that I'm not just recommending a service that I have no idea how it works. And I knew that I would benefit from it, or most likely. So that's kind of the foreground of it all. So I started the counselling, which took me ages to get around to. I was incredibly nervous. I think I was sick, like as in just feeling sick, not actually sick, for like days around the time that I did it. I was crying, I felt so strange, which is really weird. The whole process went really fast to sign up because it was just a quick quiz. It was really thorough. And then I believe I was assigned to my first counsellor in like 4 hours. It's all in that first video, but a lot has like changed since then, which is why I feel the need to like chat about it again. So yeah, with that first counsellor, as I mentioned in the other video, I had a bit of a communication barrier. I felt like she just wasn't really understanding what I was wanting, and she just kind of had her own structure she was going through. And I was kind of just trying to push through it, but I knew that I wasn't clicking with her and I didn't feel 100%. So I decided to change counsellor, which happened like overnight. It was so fast. And this woman I got on so well with. I actually got to choose her. I had a list of like recommended people to what I needed. I could read their description, see their photos, and she was actually amazing, and I stuck with her for the rest of the 3 months. Straight away she was really good, and I could tell that she was very different to the previous one, which I think is a really good thing. It shows that every counsellor has their way to go about it, and it just means that if someone doesn't work for you, there will be someone else. This lady, I want to say her name but I feel like I shouldn't. Let's call her Sally. Her name wasn't Sally, but we'll call her Sally. So Sally wanted to kind of start with a call to understand me properly, what I was going through, blah blah blah, and I explained to her that I'm reluctant to talk, don't know what to say, just completely nervous, and she took the reins. The other one did too, to be honest. And it kind of just went from there, and it was very, very natural. And also she checked up on me all the time, like every few days she was like, hey, just checking in to see if you're okay. And sometimes she would take it even further and just ask me a question. She also always checked whether I wanted to live chat, video call or phone call, which every time I wanted to live chat, because I hate phone calls so much, but she still made sure to ask. And what I really loved about her, which the other one might have done but I don't know, she actually sent me through some like worksheets, some documents to explain things that were relating to what we were talking about in our live chat. So I remember I asked her something about anxiety and another time something about PTSD, and we'd talk about it and she'd explain to me from the questions that I was asking, and she'd also tie it in with my story and how it might be playing out in my mind, which I think is incredible. Like, she clearly is very knowledgeable. But then afterwards she'd send me a document, whether it's for me to take action on something or just to read up and understand it further. And I think that's amazing, because I've still got those documents now, and they honestly have really helped me to come to understand things that I really didn't. Because a lot of the time with your mental health, it's just so common to not understand what's going on, and being able to not only hear her say certain things to me but also ask questions has allowed me to kind of close the book on so many of those things. And now when I'm experiencing them again, or when someone around me does, I actually can explain it better, understand it better, help them understand it better. So it's really been very eye-opening for me. So yeah, I felt very comfortable around her, as well as checking up on me every few days. She would message me, and she'd also say this during our live chats. She would say, is there anything else I can help you with? Is there anything else you want to talk about? I don't want your time to run out before we've covered something that you're feeling the need to talk about. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. I didn't find anywhere to see how long I had left on my membership. So I didn't know how long I had left with her, and one day it was just kind of over and I couldn't talk to her again. And I think that's my own fault. And obviously if I needed to talk to her again, then I would just pay for it to continue. but I feel really good. For me personally, like, that's all the time that I needed. It just helped me ask questions I needed in a really safe, comfortable situation, be told things I didn't know I needed to hear, and have things explained to me that I really needed to know. And obviously, like, she explained things about my past that aren't necessarily facts, but from her educational background, she clearly can show how the puzzle pieces fit together, if that makes sense. So yeah, just eye-opening, I think, is one of the biggest words I would take away from it. And this is coming from someone who didn't think they needed counselling. So to kind of end this video, that really is the number one thing that I would say is, even if you think you don't need it, it still could be really beneficial for you. And I think there are certain things that I've learnt from the experience that I will keep with me for years. I've learned techniques to help with my anxiety, and I've also come to understand certain things about myself that I really couldn't, and also learn how to then explain that to Nate, for example, because I'm always around Nate. And one example of that would be that, and this is getting a bit personal, but I just want to end it with a bit of vulnerability, because you do have to feel vulnerable to do these things. But one of the things that I often deal with, even now, is if something kind of triggers me to feel anxious or depressed or any kind of low state, I often find it really hard to talk. It's like a million times easier to say, I'm fine. And even if Nate knows that I'm not, because I literally look miserable, I'll sit there and I won't be able to open my mouth. And the only way I can describe it is that I feel paralysed. And the only thing I can say is I'm fine. And I explained this to her, and because obviously I spoke to her about my past and just things that I felt like I dealt with or had to go through. And she just pointed out that in some very important years of my life, I felt like I couldn't speak to someone, or I felt misunderstood, or things like that. And so it's kind of created subconscious fear in my mind that I may not even know is there. So even though I trust Nate with absolutely everything, and I talk to him about everything, and I do end up opening up to him about these things, initially when I am triggered with anxiety or depression or something negative, my body and my mind snaps immediately back to that phase of fear and feeling like I can't talk. And I explained that to him, and it's kind of allowed him to be a little bit more patient with me. So yeah, I feel like that's a good way to end it and just show you that, you know, even people who kind of are doing okay may look put together or have their stuff together and not feel they need it. Quite often actually do kind of need it in a sense, and just do benefit from it greatly. So yes, please feel free to leave any questions down below, or direct message me on Instagram if you want to keep it private. I completely don't mind at all, and it's something that I offer continuously on my Instagram, because helping you guys really means the world to me. And I honestly can't recommend checking out BetterHelp enough, because I really enjoyed the service. Like, I have nothing bad to say. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're all doing okay in this crazy world. Please just know that you're never alone, and don't forget to like and share this video so that others in a similar position to you, or in a position maybe worse than you, can see this video and maybe get that sign to get help. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon.